Hey, what's going on, guys? I know it's been a while since I dropped a new video. I've been real busy. I haven't been slacking off. I haven't quit cosplaying. I've been doing the exact opposite, actually. I've been busy building all kinds of new cosplays. As you can see, I worked on my Batman Beyond, I got War Machine, and I got, well, I got a bunch of other cool stuff. I'll cover that in an upcoming video. It was about this time last year. I went to my first Comic-Con. Yeah, I was like, wow, this is so cool. I wish I could do cosplay. And I tried it and I was good at it, and I shared it with you guys throughout the year. If you've been following me, then it's been about a year ago since I uploaded my first cosplay video, which was the Batman video. And I appreciate all the new subscribers that I've gotten over the year. In this video, I will go over the tools and supplies that I use and where I got them. There's a lot of stuff to cover, so I'll go right through it real quickly. But yeah. Here is my blade collection. This is probably the most important tool that I use. I use different blades for different thickness of foam. It's important to keep your blades sharp. I got this knife sharpener from Walmart in the camping section. It allows me to use my blades over and over. And this one's probably my favorite blade. It doesn't cut for nothing, but it does right. And has this really cool sound effect too whenever I use it. But anyways. Here's my Rotary Cutter. I only use this to cut fabric, and sometimes I'm able to cut multiple layers of fabric at one time, and always gotta have a pair of scissors. And you always gotta have your rulers and your straight edge. Sometimes I like to keep two side by side so I can calibrate them, make sure they don't fall off. Calibration, that is. And I also have this ruler tape measuring thingy. It's important to have marking devices like this and that. This one's a wax pencil and some crayon, which is good to write and draw on fabric. And we have my manly hot glue gun, which hot glued itself shut. Can't even use it anymore. But then I got my wife's little girly hot glue gun, and it still works, so as long as it works, I guess. And I have this roller thingy that's good for pressing two pieces of material that you just glue together. Here are some clamps that I've modified. This is to hold straps down after I've hot glued it together. I basically took some wax paper and glued it onto some plastic, which I then glued onto the clamps. And I have different sizes for different jobs. Here are my sanding tools. I have a file, and I got a nail filer, and then some sandpaper, and some more sandpaper glued onto EVA scrap foam. I even got some sandpaper glued onto some PVC pipes. It's good to have different grits and different sizes. Here are my toothbrush. They're strong enough to get between my teeth and get the Jolly Ranchers out. And here's my trusty Dremel. I've had this one for a long time and it works good. You want to have a lot of sanding stuff. Stay away from this cheap product. This is scary to use. I even have my belt sander. It's sitting on this expensive table. This cutting mat is a good surface to cut your stuff on, but I like to use my table, which is a lifetime plastic table, and it's cheaper than a cutting mat. You need a good heat gun for foam fabrication. Hair dryer just won't get hot enough, but I will use it to dry my paint. Every great artist needs a great set of paintbrush. I use some cheap ones. I use this big Mod Podge brush to do all my sealing, and I also have a small one for tighter spots. This is a cheap airbrush from Harbor Freight and a more expensive one from Hobby Lobby, but this one is my favorite because it's the cheapest and it gets the most coverage for what I do. Here is my Airbrush Compressor. I love this compressor up until it fell off the table. Now it kind of works sometimes. My paint supply, gotta have my Mod Podge. I use cheap acrylic paint from Walmart. I like to mix it with some Windex and some water. I'll store it in these expensive plastic bottles so I can shake it up, and instead of stirring it, got my chrome paint for my weathering jobs because I like to weather stuff. Here's my foam cutter that I made, and I rarely ever use it, but it's good to have. There's another one that I bought from Hobby Lobby. This is a wood burner that I use all the time. If you don't have one, you can probably use a soldering iron. I'm not sure what this is, but I thought I'd show you anyways. Here's my sewing machine. It's not the greatest machine, but I use the crap out of it and it does its job. Several different foot per job, and I got assortments of threads. And I'll plan on doing a tutorial on how to sew as soon as I figure that out. As far as adhesive goes, barge contact cement is by far my favorite. You can also use Wellwood contact cement, and I thin it down with some Tanner Bond. You can get these from Tandy Leather. You can get these small thingies of contact cement from Walmart. It's like $5. I prefer to swap off the brush with these bunny tail looking thingies. Sometimes I like to use these spreaders, these acid brush, but then I always go back to using these scrap foam. As far as the material I use, I like using these anti-fatigue floor mats. I get them from Harbor Freight. They're like $9 a package. You can also find them at Walmart in the exercising section. They come in these big rolls and square sheets. I usually cut them into small sections and then I'll roll them back up the opposite direction. This way when I unroll them, they'll be sort of flatter. As for my helmets and masks and accents, I use these silly wing sheets. You can get them from Michael's or Hobby Lobby. The fabric that I like to use the most are these outdoor sports fabric. A bit stronger than cotton, and you can get them at Walmart for like $4, maybe $5, like $10 a yard. I sometimes use these Terraflex. It's kind of like Warbler, except for not Warbler. And I also use some mat boards. I can use to make weapons and knives and not be dangerous at the same time. And I always stock up on fabrics, and more fabrics, and more fabric. Sometimes I use pleather, which is fake leather, and then more pleather, just kind of keep them stocked, you know what I'm saying? And when I'm not gluing stuff down and I want them to be adjustable, I'll use Velcro and elastic and then sew them together, and then I'll have a Velcro elastic and have different sizes and straps and other stuff. Sometimes I'll use snap buttons. Sometimes they hold too well, but you can get them from Home Depot. Comes with the tools. And then I have like a whole bunch of tapes, several different kind of tapes. I got this high-tech template maker, I got some shipping tape, and I got some gaffer, and got this aluminum tape which I use to make weapons, and there's some bags that the store just gives away for free, and unless you live in California, and it's a nickel a bag. And here are some dedicated employees of mine. Got my mannequin, I got this guy, and I got that guy. They kind of just sit around all day and do nothing, but at least I can count on them because they're always here. I got these Mannequin Heads. She looked like she just got into a fight with this guy. Kind of hard to tell who won that fight. And then we got this guy who kind of avoids all the drama, keeps his face all pretty, and I make my helmets off this guy because his head's more proportionate to mine. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope y'all learned something. Yeah, share this with somebody who might care, who wants to get into cosplay and has no clue, because I didn't have a clue either. Or I had some kind of clue. But anyways, yeah. Today's video shout out goes to a YouTuber by the name of the Tabby Lemon. He's down in Australia. Hello, mate from Texas. Did I say that right? I don't know how y'all talk in Australia. We speak Texan in Texas. I also want to give a shout out to Ethan J. Wright. He asked for a shout out a long time ago, and it got lost in my request of shout out. So, yeah, and I went through all my emails and I found it. I was like, there it is. I also want to give a Facebook and Instagram shout out to Riley's son. His Instagram is Squirtle in Space. Now, what does that mean? You guys get really creative with your IG names, I swear. I also want to give another shout out to Soundwave Nuva. Yeah, I think that was Instagram. Might have been Facebook. No, it was Instagram. And yeah, if you guys like this video, please hit the like button. Follow me on Instagram, like me on Facebook, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already subscribed. If you know anybody who's interested in getting into some cosplaying, refer me, because I like being referred. You know what I'm saying? I like helping people out, because that's what I do. Because I'm cool like that. Kinda. But anyways, hey, thanks for watching, y'all.